Hello, this is Eris Estrella Stormpiece, and this is actually a little public service announcement for all tarot readers from me, a nobody doing weird tarot videos, talking about stuff sometimes. I am not your competition. Not at all. Okay. Queen of Wands. I don't really need cards right now. The moon. Okay. Well, as I was trying to say, I'm not your competition. I don't care about that. I have a muggle matrix job right now, so I'm not worrying about trying to make money from this. Not now, anyway. It would be cool if it grew into something like that, lucrative. I know some channels are able to do that because they're great, and people. There's a lot of value in a lot of different approaches to things that people have and share. And I've noticed each reader has its own realm of exploration, especially like I'm just gonna say the best ones, some of the most prolific in these interwebs these days. There's them, and then there's also a lot of channels that are kind of the same thing over and over. I've kind of rambled on this in the past, just being annoyed at, your ex, this and that. Oh, they're so upset. They're gonna come crawling back to you, asking for your toes. They even brought their own scissors. They love you. But really, where are we going? That's not what I'm trying to do either. This storm piece is kind of a place I created to kind of reclaim my own peace. And I mean, I tried to do some proper videos for people. I want this to be something people can get something of value from. But my approach, I realize, is kind of not right. Not there yet. I'm still figuring out what the heck I am doing. It's in a constant change, constant readjustment. What was I saying? Oh yeah, got distracted. Okay, you know what? Let's just go with the simple tarot. So, let me tell you an important reason why I am not your competition. Aside from everything else I already said, I am relatively new to Tarot land. I have been learning, but really, my life has been dedicated to music, and I have been in a lot of bands. And something I've learned to mature as a musician is that sense of competition, especially with people you are in a band with. It may sound obvious, don't be competitive with your bandmates, but it comes up, it happens. Even when everyone is, they're trying their best, there's this tension. And if it's not resolved in one way, it might be resolved in another way. And that's how bands end sometimes. And it sucks. But sometimes it's just kind of what happens, or it's how we learn. By golly. But what I'm getting at, well, I guess in some way you could really attribute the same kind of finding out by experience in this realm, except we're not in bands, we're making videos, speaking promises. A lot of people like, saying the love of your life is going to enter your life, and you're going to be in the love of your life from another person, and all your answers are going to be resolved, and your life is not going to be worth living because you are not living it. It is promised to you. You don't have to try. But also, I know that's not everybody. People really do care about growing and learning from our lessons. Also, sometimes some people think that they are karma and that they can deal out the justice by way of what they think. And so they say things that they know won't sit right with people because they think that they are acting as some kind of justice. Anyway, tarot readers cannot be going against each other. It's silly. There are literally fascist morons ruining the world, and we're out here being petty against each other? For any reason at all? If you find out one of these tarot readers are being, there's a saying, fascism is as fascism does, kind of like the chocolates, but they're filled with shit because they're fascist. I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that kind of controlling nature also correlates with so-called narcissists, something a lot of us have learned a lot about, and it has been a thing, kind of. I've noticed an interesting correlation, calling out these labels, fascist. Oh, but they're also a narcissist. Oh, but they're also, repeating cyclical paradigms of colonization and so on. I feel like I'm getting off track. I was just trying to tell you that I am not your competition. I don't care like that. I am a minstrel in the dark, looking at cards with technology. Talking things out. I do this because it helps me, and I like the sound thing. It's like a sensory deprivation tank, except I've never actually done that. But I've listened to podcasts about it that were very interesting and got my imagination and wondering going. So where are we going? YouTube Tarot Land. The magical world of people just sharing promises, flipping cards that if you're in a remotely dirty mind, it can sound a little bit like, what are you doing over there, Charles? And it's like, hey, that's not what I'm trying to do at all. Don't violate the sacredness of this practice. And then it's like, oh no, I thought the wrong thing. I thought it was funny because I was 12 years old again for a second. And then, oh no, the thought police in function seem to exist after all, except it's not really something that was intended to be triggered. But again, there are people who think that they are justice, and they get to decide that their being annoyed is reason enough to assume the things that they might be projecting in some way are in fact the things that are. But are they? My priestess. Conflict. Are you gonna build with happy contentment? Are you being magical, or are you being seen? Are you being seen, or are you being adored? Questions, questions. Always questions. What about the shard? Aren't you going to ask about the crystal shard? Crystal shard? How do you identify the correct crystal shard so that you may take it back to the dark crystal to make it whole again? How do you identify the crystal shard? Consider it a fragment of concept in your subconscious that you are chasing. I guess I'm getting back into my own world now, rambling. I guess that's kind of the point. I'm sharing of what I'm actually doing here. I'm not your competition. Hilly. I don't care. But I would like this to be something that people enjoy. Do you understand? I need to drink some water. It is late. All right. You want to hear why I really do all this? All right. This is why. This is... Another thing I wanted to say, when you have been in so many bands and you go through so many little lessons with different people, reflections, you feel like you're going... My experience has been interesting as a person with Pluto in the first house. Not exactly on the ascendant, but in the first house. And he is potent, and he is affecting. I have other planets in Scorpio. Let's see. Yeah. Counting asteroids. There's a lot there. And Pluto has been teaching me a lot. I was learning about Pluto as I was going through half of these bands. Well, I don't know if half, but a good handful of bands that and groups and arrangements of people I've been in. You know, some groups are super serious, like we're gonna be a band, we're gonna have a name, we're gonna play shows. Other groups simply just want to jam, and those are also valuable. And in some ways, I am preferring that form, where instead of trying to be a band and have a whole business and everything, nothing against having a band that actually has shows and has people playing and can get to a point where you're touring, that's amazing. But there's something special about just getting together with some people and jamming out, not really having a plan, and I like to call it jamming into magical jamming into magical music land, where there is a telepathic synchronization that can happen, where we're all listening and we're all playing at the same time, kind of like cards in a way. You know, you're playing this song, the drummer, you hear the drummer does like a little pattern that's kind of catchy. You liked that? And so, let's say, for example, in my case, I hear the drummer do a little thing. I like it. I remember the pattern. So in my bass line, I imitate the pattern. That's a lot of cards. Interesting. At the same time, a whole bunch of other cards came present. Possible. I could have played anything in response to the drummer's little thing, but instead, I mimicked it. Ten of Swords. Okay, Seven of Cups. It works better when you are not at war with each other. It is really a magical thing. Like, it is therapeutic in some instances, where we are just playing the music. And yeah, we can have basic song structures. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes it's just a magical community thing, playing music with people in that way. Now, how does that apply to tarot? Tarot readers, these channels, this culture is funny. It's a very funny culture we've got here. I don't know if I count as we, but I mean, I'm a nobody. No offense to my current subscribers. All 5 of you now are wonderful people. I have no idea who you are. I have a suspicion about maybe 2 or 3 of you, but I actually don't know. And that's okay, because I am not that kind of psychic. I have sensitivities. I pick up on things. I think most of it has been emotional, especially going back to Pluto and the things that I have experienced, the reflections, and the way that I have had to heal from toxins that were absorbed, I believe, through the 12th house, my 12th house, where I have Sun, Mars, and Pallas Athene, dare I tell you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I can't see you. I can't look at this and see who's looking back. I mean, I guess I haven't tried it proper. If I do a video where the camera isn't going through some weird effects, let's see if I can get this angle right. Video doesn't make sense. All right, let's see if I can see you right now. Can you? This lighting is not good. There's also a piece of wood strapped to the webcam to hold it in place, and it's literally like hitting the top of my head. You can kind of see it in the second camera, which does not move. Anyway, I'm getting very much distracted. I was trying to make a point. The kind of sensibility that I have is coming from the musical realm, and I hear things. I hear things. And it's usually musical, rhythmic. And it's gotten to a point where I sing with it. I've had a lot of musical ideas that never heard before, but they just kind of channel through. That is the kind of channeling I actually am practiced in. There are many ways of channeling. I guess back to YouTube Tarot, a lot of people, well, everyone has their gifts. And I think that's a really cool part about this, is the uniqueness of people's abilities and how they can help others with those abilities. Very admirable, truly. Even in instances where there is some weird, petty competition for some reason or another, I can at least definitely understand it when it's like the pressure of it, when it is your main method of income and you put in a daily effort to churn out these videos. If you are a so-called drill sergeant reader, daily motivation, it's like, you know what? There's a type of video reader for different people, or I should say people needing different kinds of messages or things to hear or different things to think about. It doesn't always have to be about love. It doesn't always have to be about healing from shit or being in the midst of some karmic whatever, or in the midst of drama or gossip smear campaigns that are done very slyly and subtly through means of pointing things out that only their targets might be able to recognize, and other, maybe their whoever is also bullying. Speaking of things that need to mature, let's just make sure there's none of that going on. Let's just assume that Mother Eris has a plan. There's another video I want to talk about, something I should probably write about as well. Hey cat, what are you doing? Meow. But I'm gonna end this here. I'm not your competition. I don't care like that. I'm just trying to be silly, and I'm trying to have fun with creativity. Queen of Swords. That's the truth of it. Seven of Wands. Hey. Please. Please. Holy shit. Please. Alright, I have to stop before my cat ruins something again. Take care, strangers.